Hey there. My name's Julie Felsman. I'm a mortgage loan originator. And one of the most common questions that I get from clients, or really prospective clients, is with regard to the impact of an inquiry on their credit history to their credit score as they're applying for a mortgage or applying to get pre qualified, talking about what mortgage options they might have. And I'm about to apply for a mortgage myself. So I thought I would take advantage of the opportunity to show folks how their credit score is impacted by their application for a mortgage. I'm logged in here to my very favorite service for tracking credit. It's called MyFICO.com. I don't get anything for plugging it, but the reason I love it so much, even though it is not free, and there are a lot of places to track your credit for free, the reason I like this one is that it shows you all your credit scores, and it's the only place I know of where you can see the credit score that we lenders use for mortgage purposes. So when I log in initially, you'll see I'm listed here with FICO credit score 8 is what kind of pops up automatically on the home screen. And my credit score is very proud of these after a misspent youth where I did a real number on my credit score as a kid. 840, 815, and 805 are the credit scores here. These are the ones you'll see for free. I don't know what they're really called officially. I call them the consumer score, but they're really the score that you're going to see if you're monitoring your credit using a credit monitoring service. Right down below here, you'll see score versions by loan type, and you'll see mortgages. That's where we're going to go in a second. And then you'll also see insights. And there's a little hint here that the inquiry into my credit history for the mortgage I'm going to apply for probably isn't going to affect my credit score very much. And I'll show you that hint. So you can see over here these percentages 35, 15, 10, 30, and 10. This is, these five tiles are how credit is weighted, or how aspects of your credit are weighted in a credit score. And so you can see the very most important part of your credit score is your payment history. And so if I click on that, you'll see there is this list of things: late payments in 30, 60, derogatory public record, collections, time since delinquencies, etc. So that is 35% of my credit. It's the most heavily weighted part of my credit score. Amount of debt is then my next most heavily weighted part of my credit score. Accounts with balances, total balances outstanding, and revolving credit utilization. Those three items make up 30% of my credit score. And you can see the same thing down here: length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit. Amount of new credit is a 10% impact on my overall credit score, and inquiries fall under that 10% category. So it's a pretty lightly weighted part of my credit score. And when folks ask me, hey, how much do you think your credit score is going to change with an inquiry? It's a little variable based on a number of things, but typically it's somewhere in the single digits, mid single digits, like 5 points, give or take. So I'm going to click on this mortgage score, and I want to talk about one other thing here, and that is a little panic that I think a lot of folks have when they apply for a mortgage, and that is they're used to tracking these credit scores for free at their favorite place to track credit scores, your credit card company or whatever, and you apply for a mortgage and you see a lower number and you think that was the impact on your credit score because of that inquiry. So here I am, 840, 815, 805. If I click on that mortgage link, 795, 794, 815. People go, oh my gosh, what happened? You're ruining my credit with this score. Nope, not at all. This is just a different credit score. Remember, we were FICO 8 on the other screen. Here we're FICO 5, 4, and 2. These are the scores that we use for mortgage purposes. And this 795, 794, and 815, those are really good credit scores. And those are scores that are going to qualify me for the best possible terms, the highest possible, I guess the highest score that really matters for mortgage purposes is typically going to be around 740 to maybe 760 or 780 under certain circumstances. And so if I'm in the 790s, a little over 8, I'm in a really good place. So it's just apples and oranges, just different recipes for purposes of calculating the credit score. And before I sign off, because I got to come back in a month when this MyFICO service refreshes my score after I've had my mortgage inquiry, I want to do one more thing, and that is go up to their simulator. And in the simulator, I can actually play with, hey, what might happen to my score? Now, this is taking me back to FICO 8. It's not the mortgage score. We'll get to see what my mortgage score is when I come back and record the second part of this. But I'm here at 840, 815, and 805. And if I go to the mortgage simulator, I can ask, hey, what's going to happen if I take out a new mortgage? And if I click this, it's giving me -5, -5, and -0 or +0. No change to my credit score with Experian, and a 5-point change to my credit score with the other two credit bureaus. So we're going to come back a month when I can log back in and see what the inquiry did to my score. So through the magic of editing, I'll be back in just a moment with some new information. And I'm back. It took me a little longer than I thought it was going to get around to recording the second half of this video. It's been about 60 days. It's now July 28th, and I just logged back into my FICO and refreshed my credit score. And you can see the consumer scores, which were 840, 815, and 805, are now 835, down 5 points, 814, down 1 point, and 808, up 3 points. And if you take a look at the tiles down here, which again are the ingredients to my credit score, the new credit tile where inquiries fall now shows that I had this inquiry for my own mortgage, and that was on June 8th or thereabouts, so a little more than a month ago. So let's see what happened to my mortgage credit scores. Generally, I predict mortgage credit scores will move from an inquiry somewhere in the single digits. 5 to 10 points is pretty typical, somewhere in that neighborhood. So let's see what happened to my scores. Drum roll, and here we go. So it looks like I'm at 787, 783, and 804 now. I was at 795, so 8 points lower for my Equifax score, and then 11 points lower, so just over single digits for my TransUnion and my Experian score. That difference in my score still leaves me with excellent credit, and there will be no negative impact on access to loans or loan terms, interest rates, or costs for me from that inquiry. Another really important thing to know, if you're thinking about shopping for a mortgage, when you have an inquiry into your mortgage credit history, the system is actually set up to give you leeway to research your options and talk to multiple lenders for a 45-day window from the time you have your first mortgage inquiry. Any subsequent mortgage inquiries, many subsequent mortgage inquiries even, can be grouped into one for credit scoring purposes. So if you had the stamina to go talk to a mortgage lender a day for 45 days, all of those credit inquiries would really be under the umbrella of one for credit scoring purposes, and there would be no negative impact to your credit score beyond just the one inquiry that you had from that initial time that your credit was checked by a mortgage lender. That's only true, I should say, for the same type of credit for a mortgage loan. So if you also applied for a car loan and a credit card, those would be separate inquiries and separately affect your credit history. So I hope this has been really helpful. My name again is Julie Felsman. I'm a residential loan officer, and of course, if you're interested in talking about mortgage options, if you're researching a loan for yourself, or thinking about buying a home or refinancing or anything that involves a mortgage in the future, feel free to reach out to me. I would be thrilled to be a resource. I thank you for your time watching this video, and I sure hope it was helpful. Take care.